What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the Simulor. Now, the Simulor is a weapon that you can obtain from Cephalon Simarus in his sanctuary. It fires these little balls. Yes, you heard me correctly, balls. Now, these balls travel about 12 meters right before they stop. Afterwards, you can press right click to detonate them. Now, if you fire multiple balls, they actually merge. See? Check it out. You see that? Like, seriously. 5 stacks creates this little mini vortex. If you have split chamber, you only need about 3. Now, this weapon can be obtained for about 75,000 rep. Yeah, it's a little bit pricey, but it is kind of worth it if you want to check out and fire all those balls, right? So basically, just head to your nearest relay. I usually like to go to Pluto. Whenever you get there, scroll down to the bottom left. There you go. Now the weapon itself is pretty easy to build. It doesn't require too much on the resources. So it's going to be about 20,000 credits, 1 Orkin cell, 1200 ferrite, 1 argon crystal, and 850 polymer bundles. Afterwards, hey, you can go actually shoot these balls, right? Now when you detonate the weapon, it creates this small little area of effect explosion that deals electrical damage. Can pretty much just stun an enemy dead in their tracks. If you actually shoot and merge the balls, it creates another type of area of effect explosion. However, that one is magnetic based damage. That can also be detonated as well. You can actually play around with things like Loki to actually make spawn trap, for enemies. Rushing head in straight up probably isn't the best way to use this weapon. Try to actually line up your shots a lot better. Like that. However, since this does deal magnetic damage and electric, it's going to be really good against Corpus. You can actually pull off some pretty neat little type of trick shots, whatnot, if you play around with it. I actually find the best way to generally use this isn't to really detonate them prematurely, but it's just best to sit here and actually merge the balls. Well, it's a lot of balls. You're going to actually have to play around with this weapon a ton to get the hang of it. Because honestly, this weapon is not the easiest weapon to use. Overall, it's a pretty good weapon, but I'm really not too sure about what Dee was actually thinking with it. It seems really great on paper, but the idea just didn't really plan out that amazing. Don't get me wrong, the damage it does is pretty good for early game and mid-level gameplay, but for in-game, definitely probably not something you want to take to a T4 survival or a T4 defense and actually try to fight something like level 60, 70 enemies. It's not going to really cut it there. Trust me, I tried that already. But overall though, the weapon is really, really, really fun and unique in its own right. I mean, no other weapon works this way. So if they got the idea from Volvin, hey, who knows? Don't worry, it's not going to replace Volvin if that's what you're thinking. It's not going to happen. And overall, the weapon does have a few little kickbacks to it. You have to be mastery rank 5 before you can even use the weapon. It's only got about 10 rounds in the magazine and only 100 rounds total, which, well, it's pretty short for a rifle. Make sure to build this weapon straight damage. Crit builds aren't necessarily even that good on it. I mean, it's only got about a 10% crit chance, about a 2.0 crit multiplier. So, no crit build, please. Don't do that. You can try it, but I urge you not to do that. Seriously, don't do it. Now, about building this weapon, I built it about 3 different ways. So let's take a look at that. This is basically a really good build against Corpus, since this weapon is primarily built against. You got split chamber, serration, heavy caliber, shred, cryo rounds, stormbringer. Now the last 2 mod slots I can't put anything there really, because I've only got about 2 forma on this weapon. So it's not going to be a lot that I could really do there. But hey, this is pretty much a high-end build with the heavy caliber. It's going to give you some extra damage. And yeah, and whatnot. Cryo rounds and stormbringer, even more magnetic damage. Great for corpus shooting. So next up, I pretty much have another build that doesn't really use heavy caliber. Split chamber, serration, shred, cryo rounds, stormbringer, hellfire, infected clip. This is going to be a build that's actually going to fall much more into a, you know, an early game to mid game like players' preference and whatnot for the most part, because there's not going to be a heavy caliber mod that you may have at that point. And if you do have it, you probably don't have it maxed. Last but not least, split chamber, serration, shred, cryo rounds, stormbringer, rhyme rounds, malignant force. Now, I would have put a jolt back in there, but just to show you, I have 8 points left. So if you got some dual stat mods that you can put in, go ahead and fit those on, and you can get this far with just a catalyst and just only 2 form. So overall, you know, those are some ways that you can mod this magnetic wise against Corpus. Play around with your own builds, see what you come up with. Hey, let me know something in the comments if you come up with something that, hey, I don't know. So overall, is this weapon good? Can it do some damage? You bet it can.